Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the NBA Front Office Show special live breaking news edition. If you're over on the Lakers Nation YouTube channel, do not adjust that dial. Yes, you're in the right place. We're just simulcasting here. Giannis Antetokounmpo traded to the Miami Heat. What is this deal? Who are the winners? Who are the losers from this trade? What does it all mean in the grand context of the NBA offseason? What's it going to mean for tomorrow's NBA draft? A lot to talk about. I'm Trevor Lane. He's Keith Smith. Happy to have you all here. Keith, I know it is way, way, way past your bedtime, but all I can say is at least they didn't wait until 2 a.m. like the Kevin Durant trade.
Yeah. We'll take that for sure. I'm very happy. It's not, it's not too far off, but not too bad. I'll still be able to get in a decent night's sleep tonight. So to recap the trade, the Milwaukee Bucks trade Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bobby Portis to the Miami Heat for Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparis Yakushonis, 3 first-round picks, a pick swap, and a second-round pick. The details on those picks, the number 13 pick in this year's draft, unprotected first-round picks in 2031 and 2033, a pick swap in 2030, and a 2033 second-rounder. For now, according to Shams, does not include any other teams, but everyone is leaving this open to potentially expanding the deal if it makes sense for all parties involved. So an absolute monster trade here getting done.
And this trade actually cannot be executed until July 6th.
Correct.
So there's plenty of time for this to, while all parties will act as though this is done, they will move forward. It doesn't mean somebody's going to suddenly get cold feet. That's very rare. But there is plenty of time for other stuff to be added into this deal. As we saw, I believe, was it the Kevin Durant trade that got expanded into like 7 teams or something like that?
Yeah. Last year. Yeah. That's how many times Kevin Durant's been traded now. I had to think.
Which Kevin Durant trade was it?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, last year it ended up being a 7-team trade. Now there was just minor movements on a couple sides of that 7-teamer, but yeah, that's exactly what went down. The Heat, by my calculations, and this is including like Andrew Wiggins opting in, keeping their non-guaranteed players, so there's a little bit of flexibility in here. They are about $10.3 million under the luxury tax,
okay,
$18.3 million under the first apron.
Oh, 18.
That's the key number, is the first apron number, with 5 roster spots to fill. So even if you fill the roster spots with minimums, they're about $2.5 million a piece now. So you're going to be only about roughly $8 million under by the time you hit the roster minimum of 14 guys. So now we're in a position where let's see what happens. They're going to do everything they can, I think, to re-sign Norman Powell.
I was going to say
they need him. Yeah.
How do you do it though? You have to shed salary because they're now going to be hard capped at that first apron, right?
Yes. And that's the important thing. And the reason they're hard capped right now, there's 2 parts. One, they take back more in trade for Giannis. Right. Bobby Portis is set to go into the Duncan Robinson traded player exception because that was created last season. Really, this season we're still wrapping up the end of the league year, but for all functional purposes, that's a last season's TPE. That'll hard cap them at that first apron amount. So right now, let's just use it as they've got $18.3 million in wiggle room to fill out with 5 roster spots. That's with the roster as you see it on the page right now, all updated from Spot Track. That's the pending roster once this trade completes. So I would keep an eye on Nikola Jovic getting routed somewhere else.
Jovic youted.
Yeah, Jovic youted. Jovic routed somewhere else. They don't really need him in this new construction here. Some have suggested maybe Andrew Wiggins opts out, knocks his number down, and signs a new contract. That could happen. Every little bit is going to really matter here. And they may waive guys like Jameer Young or Myron Gardner as things go along. But Gardner, Drew Smith, Pelle Larson, those guys have all played for the Heat, so I think they'll probably stay. And the thing with Young is that's actually less than a veteran minimum contract, so you may not want to move on him either. But we'll see where that lands up. But yeah, I mean, a lot of work to still be done here for Miami just to put a deep enough team on the floor.
Yeah, so now they've got work to do. And they're going to have to rely on players that maybe as the money starts to dry up, saying, you know what, if money all starts to be the same, if all that's out there for me is a veteran minimum, why not go to the beach, go to South Beach, and team up with Giannis and Adebayo? There, that's part of what they're going to be relying upon. So it may take a little bit of patience for the Miami Heat in free agency to get the guys that they want to get, as free agency does kick off June 30th officially. When we think about this big picture for Miami, this is a Heat team, a Heat franchise that has been waiting for this moment literally for years. They've been holding on to assets so that they can go make the big swing at the big fish when the big fish is available. It happened. Giannis became available, and they got it done. They gave up a lot to do it. Did they overpay here, and does that matter?
I mean, maybe a little. I think what probably really changed things, and there's been some reporting on this, was being willing to move Jonas in the deal. The Heat had tried to hang on to him. They didn't really want to put him in the trade by all accounts through the reporting that's out there. It went to at least, it was either one extra first round pick or the swap. There was an early report where it was 2 first round picks. Always was number 13, but then there was only one other one in there. So I think that, and the willingness to also take back Bobby Portis's contract, I think that's what put it over the top for Miami. I think it is, in a position where this makes sense for the Heat right now. You kind of, I don't know that they were going to be able to pitch the fan base on another year of, hey, just hang out 2027. We're going to go big when we have all this cap space. I don't know that the fans were going to put up with that. I mean, the Heat have been down for a while now. It's been a string of disappointing seasons. So I think for them, it was really, you had to do something. But this is a lot. I mean, this is a lot to give up.
Now, your Boston Celtics, Keith, I mean, they were in this too. And I was surprised when the reporting came out that they offered not just 1, but 2 first-round picks in addition to Jaylen Brown. That's a really strong offer. We always caution that not all firsts are created equal. So the value, like the Celtics pick at 27 is not going to carry the same value as the Heat's pick at 13, obviously. But that's a lot that Boston was reportedly willing to offer up. What do the Celtics do now? Can they smooth things over here? They very publicly tried to trade Jaylen Brown. What do they do now?
Yeah, I mean, not the first time, right? They had him in the Kevin Durant offers, while Brad Stevens didn't speak to it directly. When he was asked multiple different times about how does Jaylen Brown feel about it, he said, what I'll tell Jaylen is, and any of our players, when you're trying to trade for good players, you have to offer really good players in those trades. My guess is they're going to do what they can to kind of, see what they can smooth out with Jaylen Brown. There's been a lot of talk of, could he get traded in another deal to Portland or Atlanta or to the Clippers, who were rumored for him, or even New Orleans. I think the challenge with some of those is some of those are very pick heavy or young player heavy trades. Celtics are not looking to reset and rebuild. They made it very clear that they were going to try to get reloaded to get back into title contention. They were not happy with the way last season ended for them, and with Tatum being back fully there, they seem ready to go with that. So I don't know, like the Clippers rumored offer of number 5 for Jaylen Brown. I don't really know that moves the needle for the Celtics a whole lot, because I don't think they're just looking to move Jaylen Brown for a package of draft capital in young players. So I think we may see, maybe he still gets moved. There's been a lot of stuff out there linking Boston to Trey Murphy. So maybe that becomes a thing that could become a way that they can make that happen. But yeah, they've got some, I mean, they're basically, they're right where they were. Nothing changed for them. Minus you've got to kind of really smooth things over a little bit with Jaylen Brown, or look to move him. And Brian Windhorst had some reporting that Brown might get moved anyway, even if they didn't get Giannis, and here we are now.
Where does go? Let's jump to the other team in the mix of all this, and this is the team that traded away Giannis Antetokounmpo. Milwaukee, obviously getting a lot in exchange
Sure.
for him. You're getting a number of pieces back. There have been some talk about, could Tyler Hero go to Detroit? Could Kelly Ware be available? What happened? Is this it for Milwaukee, or is this just the beginning of other moves to come?
Yeah, I think this is probably the start of a lot of stuff. There was some reporting out there today that maybe Moss Turner
Yeah.
could be on the move. I think Michael Grange had a thing that the Raptors were interested if Giannis got traded, and we're missing Kasparis Yakushonis off the Bucks page, and he's still on the Heat page. That'll probably get fixed in the morning. I think our guy has gone to bed, so that'll get updated in the morning when he wakes up. So, but he's a very early riser, so I think probably by the time most people are up tomorrow, that'll be changed. But Yakushonis, Jaquez, and Ware, those are guys you can build around for Miami. Not like they're not your foundational building blocks, but they're just nice pieces to have on your team. All three are good young players with talent. So I think that's something you can start to work with there if you're Milwaukee. And then Tyler Hero, yeah, we'll see. I mean, doesn't probably make a ton of sense, but I know we're going to get into the other moves tonight. You can't just be awful anymore in the NBA. So you have to kind of be in a position where you look to, all right, what are we going to do with Tyler Hero? If the right deal isn't there, just keep him for yourself and let him go out there. I mean, Tyler Hero, we've seen he can score a whole bunch of points and keep you in games. Maybe by the time it's like true winning time, playoff time, might not necessarily be the best player to have out there, but in the regular season, really good productive player. So I think they hang on to him unless the right deal kind of comes their way.
And we'll see. Maybe it does wind up being something with Detroit. Maybe it winds up being something somewhere else that opens up with Tyler Hero. Maybe some of these other pieces could wind up being on the move. But the Giannis deal, the one that everybody's been waiting for so long, it's finally done. Yeah. Giannis Antetokounmpo. We've been talking about this trade for over a year. Yeah. And finally, I mean, I guess really more than that. But
yeah, hold on. I'm gonna look it up because my guy Yossi went back and found the day that it was like first mentioned.
That we first started getting into it.
Yeah. Come on. 418 days.
Oh my gosh.
So a year plus.
That's a lot.
It was first mentioned.
That's a lot of Giannis trade talk that we've done. And it finally happens, and he winds up
somehow we never created a drop for it. Like it
always felt like it was so close, and then we just never made a drop for it. But it's finally done. Giannis finally agreed to, I should say. Giannis going to the Miami Heat. And that was not even the only thing that we saw happen tonight in the NBA. We saw some other stuff go down as well.
Oh, hold on. Before we move off that, let me just grab this real quick because this is a big thing.
Good question.
Obviously, when can Giannis sign an extension? So now what will happen, because Giannis's extension will obviously be big enough and long enough, they'll have to wait till the extended trade period ends. So that's good. This trade will go official on July 6th is our assumption. That's when the moratorium lifts. So it'll be a 6-month waiting period. And what will happen with this is Giannis will then be able to sign an extension on January 6th with the Heat. There's 2 different options he can do. There's actually an opt-in and then a 3-year period on that he can do. And then there is a 4-year that he could do if he opts out of his option next year. This is a weird quirk right now where contracts are growing faster than the salary cap is. So Giannis can actually make more money by opting in and then only adding 3 years right now. So we'll see. Maybe the cap projection comes in a little higher for this year. And then maybe for next year, it'll be even higher. But for right now, it looks like he will probably opt in and then add 3 more years onto his contract. And I don't think there's going to be any messing around with that. I think that just gets done. And that's what happens here with Giannis.
All right. We did see a what's that?
This guy said in the chat. I get distracted by the chat. Yeah. Whoops.
Turner worse than Ayton? Yes. It goes too fast. I know.
Joey's Lawn Care of Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm cutting grass.
You're cutting grass in Knoxville right now?
Yeah,
it's 12:30. Knoxville is right across the time, isn't it? So is it 1240 there right now and not 1140? Anyway.
Let me answer this one real quick.
It's too late cutting grass.
You guys are moving too fast. Why is my cap estimation for the Nets and Bulls different from Yossi's? Just doing different projections on opt-ins and renouncements. That's all it is. There's nothing. We're not when it looks weird and it's funny. Then Yossi and I will check in with each other. Is if we're like tens of millions off. When it's a few million here and there, we don't. It's just one of us is projecting somebody to opt in or not, or be renounced or not. That's all it is.
All right, let's talk about this 3-team trade. Our old friend Julius Randle gets sent to Brooklyn. Wolves, what did Julius do to you? The hell? They sent him to Brooklyn. That's what he did. He's making 33 mil. The Nick Claxton goes into the Bulls cap space. The Wolves opened up the ability to sign a player, which they did, Ayo Dosunmu. They agreed to terms with him. We'll talk about that deal in a minute. 5 years, $112 million with Ayo Dosunmu. And the Wolves shed the salary of Julius Randle. They generate a $33 million trade exception. They also trade the 28th pick to the Nets for the 33rd pick. And again, Nick Claxton winds up going to Chicago. So I guess let's start. I think the Wolves are the most complicated piece of this. Let's go into the Nets. Is this the Nets effectively saying, because Nick Claxton's deal is significantly cheaper than Julius Randle's this year and next year, and his deal does actually decline, goes from about 23 million this year to about 21 million next year, Nick Claxton's did. So what is the Nets thinking here, and how much of this is the Nets just saying, you know what, we think we have a better shot of not being a bottom 3 team with Julius Randle, or how much of it is we like Julius Randle better than Nick Claxton?
Sorry. Yeah, we're simulcasting the show on Lakers Nation and Front Office Show. It's a big day. So there's
a lot going on. I was going to be live at this time for Lakers Nation anyway. So I thought with all the stuff going on, we're going to be talking about all this. Let's all come together and we'll sing Kumbaya.
Yeah. So Julius Randle. Yeah, I mean, if you're the Nets, I think this is a combination of things. One, there's probably not much better to do in free agency. And my guess is they looked at it and said, we could probably overpay some guys, but why go down that road? There were probably not a lot of other really good trade offers coming. They've still got over 30 million in cap space after this, I believe is my projection. Check.
I'll pull that up in just a minute because we'll talk about that because that might matter for the Lakers.
Yeah, 36 million is where I'm projecting. So I think and then what you said is spot on here, where it is now. This puts Julius Randle in a position where he could come in and actually help the Nets. If you look at it just right now, and obviously this is going to change, Noah Clowney, Julius Randle, Michael Porter Jr., Yegor Joman, and either Nolan Traore, Ben Soroff, with still 36 million to go, a couple other young guys, the number 6 pick in the draft. It's not a playoff team, but it's not a 20-win team either. You're probably, high 20s in that range. Now maybe that gets knocked down in a league where theoretically everyone's trying to win, but that's my guess. As they looked at it and said, all right, there wasn't a whole lot better, and maybe they do what they did with Michael Porter Jr., which is, all right, we'll bring him in, we'll kind of rehab his value a little bit, and then maybe we flip him for an asset going out as well, and they pick up the 20th pick in the draft, for the Troubles.
Yeah, so there's the Nets. The Chicago Bulls, we know, have been looking for a big. Now they get that in Nick Claxton, and it eats into their cap space, but they're going to have to send out something, whether it's like a top 55 protected second or something. But basically, they're just taking on the salary of Nick Claxton, which to me is, we've heard in the past that the Nets wanted a first or multiple firsts for Nick Claxton, and the Bulls get him for just cap space.
Yeah.
So if they felt like he's the guy for them, this is kind of a no-brainer from the Chicago side. I don't think you were going to take that cap space and go get a better big out there on the market for them for the future. So this, to me, was an easy yes for the Chicago side.
Yeah, without a doubt, you needed a center. And I think Nick Claxton being a really good defensive player, he's going to help Caleb Wilson and Modest Buzelis as the young front court kind of comes together. It'll give Tiago Splitter a vet he can rely on up front, along with Jalen Smith. So, yeah, you're essentially, you got him for free you basically said, yeah, we'll take on Nick Claxton. And again, there's nothing that don't need to keep Nick Claxton forever. They could kind of do the same thing the Nets are going to do with Julius Randle, which is bring him in, rehab him. Oh, you don't have to rehab him too much. His value probably is what it is, but just let him play and do his thing, and then maybe flip him for more assets down the line. The Bulls, I project, still $32.5 million in cap space with this. Now there is a chance. I want to go back to one thing with the Nets because we zipped by it, and I don't want to forget is. There is a chance because again, this is going to be one of those, it's agreed to today, but it's going to get executed in the new league year. The Nets could use all of they could actually like keep Randall off books in a way by using all of their cap space first, and then Claxton for Randall just works salary wise, so they could execute it that way. So then that's kind of what you do. That's what the moratorium has really become. The moratorium came in with the idea of the Players Association and the NBA had to show each other the books and go through and make sure everything lined up. And for setting the salary cap, that happens very quickly now. Now what the moratorium is, it allows these teams to sequence their moves and figure everything out and be like, okay, here's what we're doing. Now we got to line everything up in the right order so it happens. So there's a chance. I mean, the Nets could still have 40 million in cap space and use that, then do this trade that way. So just something to keep an eye on there. I don't think that's going to be how it goes down, but maybe maybe they do want to throw a big offer at Austin Reeves, but I don't think that's going to be how it plays out.
Yeah, since you're talking about it, that's what we were getting into from the Lakers side of things, that the Lakers now sit as mostly, again, these numbers can change. Like, we don't know what's going to happen with DeAndre Ayton, with Marcus Smart, with, and teams make moves. Like, we would have never projected or even dreamed that the Milwaukee Bucks last year would suddenly have the room to sign Miles Turner, because nobody would have projected they were going to waive and stretch Damian Lillard. Like, crazy stuff happens. So none of this is set in stone. But right now, the Lakers project to have the most cap space of any team in the NBA, which could potentially matter just in terms of, from a leverage perspective, other teams trying to potentially pursue Austin Reeves. Maybe it helps out their negotiating position. I certainly don't think it hurts it. It's not going to hurt their negotiating position with Austin Reeves. It's usually a good thing if there aren't other places for a player that's a free agent to go. So
good thing for the
helps
team.
Them a little bit.
Not so great for the player.
Well, and I look, maybe this is me, but I look from the team's perspective.
Yeah, I tend to.
I tend to look through that perspective. I'm not worried about how much money gets put in the player's pocket. I'm worried about how the teams can assemble a roster, and from that perspective, yeah, it's not good for the player, but in terms of assembling a roster, probably not a bad thing. Gives you a little bit more leverage as well. And
just because this will come up multiple times over the next couple weeks here as we get into free agency and everything, I want every player to get every single dollar they can get. I am on the side of the players getting all the money. The billionaires already are billionaires that own these teams. But the reality is we function in a salary cap league with only a limited amount of spending power. So that means, we're going to always focus on the team impact of building out a team. This is not about trying to save Mark Walter and Jeannie Buss any kind of money. No. I don't really care about that. Same as I don't care about doing it for Bill Chisholm with the Celtics. Pay the players, whatever you need to pay them. But you have to build the team. So that's where that comes from when we talk about that.
There's times where I've sat and thought about, is there a way that we could actually divorce those two things, the player's salary and the roster building aspect? It's never going to happen. And I'm sure people could come up with good ways to do it, but then I could just outright root the players. Right. Yeah. You'd have to, the whole system would be upended, but I was thinking, could you come up with some type of a system where you get a certain number of credits or so? I don't know. You'd probably wind up back in the same place, but regardless, from a roster building perspective, the more leverage on the side of the team, the better that the deal is favorable to the team. And the more, it's Rob Pelinka's favorite word, the more optionality you're going to have moving forward, the better chance that a deal that you're going to sign is going to be a positive value if you can get that deal to be as low and as team friendly as you can get it to be. And I'm not saying typically in these situations, you're not going to, hold the players' feet to the fire. You're not going to rake them over the coals over this whole thing, because you want to have a good relationship with the player and all of that. If you really go nuclear option, say, hey, well, there's nobody else out there that could pay you. So the most anybody else can give you is 25. So we're only giving you 25. okay, then the player, then you wind up at odds with the player, and you don't want that kind of relationship either. But if they can strike a better deal because money is drying up elsewhere, that can certainly be a very helpful thing when you're looking at building out a roster.
Yeah, without a doubt. You definitely want to be in a position to get the best deal for yourself possible. And for the Lakers, again, Austin Reeves, it sounds like a very weird way to put this. His contract is not really the one that matters as much right now for this.
If they're below the cap, yeah.
If they're below the cap, yeah, because do whatever you want to do. We're focused on Austin Reeves as a $20 million cap hold if they go cap space. To be very clear, when I project $52 million in cap space, that's Austin Reeves cap hold on the books, DeAndre Ayton opting in, then everybody else who's not a guaranteed salary gone. And in that world, that leaves you with a lot of roster spots to fill. And yeah, you could bring a whole bunch of guys back, but the way you're going to do it is, all right, well, LeBron, what's our number? Where do we need to go to? We've talked this quite a bit. I know you've talked it a ton on Lakers Nation as well. It really comes down to what is your number that you need to be at? And his answer probably is, well, what are you going to do? If my number is 25, what are you doing with $27 million in cap space? Where are you going with that? And that's probably going to be a lot of the back and forth that happens here over the next couple of weeks leading into when these things all need done. So I think they're in a really good place. And I think today's moves probably helped them, if nothing else. Now, one thing it did do a little different is it maybe took a potential Jared Vanderbilt dumping spot maybe a little bit off the table, but I don't even know how realistic that is. And his contract fits in any number of exceptions. So you might have a team that's just, we're not going to use the non-taxpayer anyway. We'll just take it and we'll eat the contract to figure it out.
Right. So maybe that's something that could happen here. Again, a lot of people said, well, why didn't, the Lakers are projected to have cap space. Why didn't they just go get Nick Claxton? They've made trades with the Nets before. Why didn't they go? They need a center. Go get Nick Claxton. They've been connected to him in the past. We don't know. My response would be, well, maybe they've got something else that they're planning on doing with their cap space. Maybe they're not going to be a cap space team at all. Maybe they're going to be an above the cap team. We don't know. But I'll tell you what, that answer will be revealed in the coming weeks. Then we'll have a sense of what that answer is. All right, the Wolves side of that trade, the Wolves move on from Julius Randle. They do finally break up that trio of Naz Reid, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert. Naz Reid, according to John Krasinski, who covers the Wolves for The Athletic, will now be the starting power forward for the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's
one of the best beat writers we have.
He's phenomenal.
Team. He's all over it.
And great opportunity for Naz. But that also opened up the ability for the Wolves to do two things. And number one was sign Ayo Dosunmu, but sign Ayo Dosunmu while also having access to the mid-level exception, the full mid-level for them to use out there on the market to go add someone else as well. But Ayo Dosunmu gets a 5-year, $112 million deal with the Wolves. So that's a $22 million roughly average annual value on that deal.
Keith should start around 19.3 million.
I knew it was going to be right around there.
Structure. So 19.3 million. That leaves the Wolves, who were like, how are they going to stay under the second apron? Now the Wolves are still, even factoring in Dosunmu, 27.5 million under the luxury tax. They are 35.5 million under the second apron right now. So we're really in a place for the Wolves where it is, man, they're in great shape because now they do have a bunch of roster spots to fill or bring guys back, but probably still need another guard. Could they get involved? Because here's the other thing in that trade. They created a $33 million trade exception if it goes as structured for Julius Randle's salary, because the money they're taking back is Mahamadou Gays. So it's kind of weird. There's two Mo Gays in the league right now.
Right.
One is Mohamed Gay, who plays for the Atlanta Hawks and is actually a pretty good player. And then Mahamadou Gay was signed by the Bulls like right at the end of the season and isn't as nearly as good of a player. What's going to happen? Bulls are going to pick up his team option. They're going to trade him to the Wolves, and then the Wolves are going to waive him because once his contract option is picked up, he becomes non-guaranteed. So he's not even going to really count, in this. So he'll go out. So $33 million trade exception, like that gets you in the door on a whole lot of players.
Yeah. And they could use that now. They could use that at the trade deadline. It doesn't have to be done immediately, but that's another thing for the Wolves here. So this was, a lot of people said, oh, well, the Wolves just salary dumped Julius Randle. They did, but let's let the dust settle on this before we're going to try to like grade the move here for the Wolves. This is not necessarily the end here. Like what they did by losing Julius Randle in this way is open up the opportunity to do other stuff. One thing was Ayo Dosunmu. There's another move coming with their mid-level. Maybe they bring the mid-level into the season and they use it as a trade exception. We'll see. But I think they will probably spend it on a player. They're going to use that mid-level. Then they could use that big trade exception for something as well. So this could, by taking this little step back by sending out Julius Randle, and they slid back 5 spots in the draft, they could wind up actually stepping forward here in a big way as a team, which they certainly needed to do. So I like this move for the Wolves, and this is a lot more than meets the eye. This is a lot more than just a salary dump. This could ultimately lead to them taking a big step forward as a club. So I think this move makes sense for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they are now a team to watch in terms of what they do from here with the flexibility they've got.
You missed it because you said it's more than meets the eye. You could have went to the Minnesota Transformer Wolves.
Oh, yeah, robots in disguise.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's late.
Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I like it. Well done. Ready to go, Bumblebee?
There it is. Oh no.
This show is so stupid. Couple more things with the Wolves. It sounds funny to say this after like years of like at least a couple years now of like, man, they've got so many big guys. How are they going to play them all? They could use another big because now it's really only Gobert and Naz Reid, but they're very high on Johan Berger. And I think they're ready to give him like a real role going into next season. And if anybody remembers him at last year's Summer League, that dude just blocked everything like over and over and over again. So I'm excited to see what maybe he looks like, for them. This team just needs depth now. You need more guards because it's really only Dosunmu and Edwards because even Chenzo's going to miss most, if not all, of next season. So maybe Mike Conley comes back. He was playing better at the end. It really is second stint with the Wolves after they traded him away and got him back. So I think that could be a way that goes there. Gobert's been mentioned in trade rumors. They're very more than
how did I miss that?
Yeah, that's well done.
That was it. Yeah. More than meets the IO.
All right.
AP that was Hoops. The low-hanging fruit.
AP Hoops. This show is free for you, my friend.
Yeah, that was the low-hanging fruit on the tree that Kawhi Leonard didn't plant.
I love it. So we're in a place where for the Wolves, get some more depth in there, and now you've got all kinds of paths to it. They've reportedly been very interested in Derek White. I don't know that Boston's going to do that, but we'll see. I think the Giannis move, I know it wasn't the first because this 3-teamer went down before it, but that was the first big trade. I don't think that's it. I think we've got a lot more stuff coming here over the next couple of weeks. I think this is going to be kind of a monster summer of player movement. Just the league's wide open. Like again, I said it last year about the Thunder, and same thing now. Everybody respects the Knicks as the champs, and they respect the Thunder, they respect the Spurs, but everybody is like, why not us? Like if they can do it, why can't it be us?
8 straight years, 8 different teams, everybody's saying, hey, we could be the team next year. Keith, before we go, I know you got to go get some sleep. We do have the NBA draft tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time. we're gonna, I guess technically today. I usually think of it as after sleep. Where I am, it is still tomorrow. But so when we're looking at the NBA draft, because this is simulcasting on Lakers Nation right now, I am very, very excited for this draft. I had our buddy Bryce on Lakers Nation the other day, and we went over some of the possible options. I haven't gotten your opinion. What if you said, wow, that like realistic but best case scenario for the Lakers, but again, not crazy like AJ DeBonsa falls to 25 or something, but we're living in the real world. What would the best result be for LA at 25?
If he checks out with the knee, Jaden Quinton's feels like a really good, like just like he would have been drafted much higher. So you're definitely taking on some risk if you trade for him, because who knows, he might not be healthy enough to play all the time. So there is a risk reward level there. I really liked the idea of Morez Johnson for them. He would have to now fall. He's like,
he'd have to fall pretty far.
Yeah, he's gonna probably go in the latter half of the lottery. It feels like at this point. If a guy who could slip potentially, because it's not too far, Chris Sinak Jr. Is a big, super athletic, big, plays up around the rim. Feels like he would fit with Luka. But we're talking about guys that are going to be a little more project guys. Like they're probably not going to come in day one and be like, oh, this is perfect. Like this is the guy here. Like you're probably in that point. You're okay to keep like DeAndre Ayton, re-sign Jackson Hayes, and work Sinak in as it goes. Heinz Steinbach could be a player. I don't love that fit as much for the Lakers, what they need with a big. If we're going with more of perimeter type guys, Isaiah Evans, I think would be an outstanding fit. Gives them that kind of shooter there. I think he's going to defend very well because he's got really good size. He's like legit 6'6" or 6'7" with that. So if they went with an older player, Joshua Jefferson's okay. He's a little more ground bound, so I'm not totally sure that
great
that
feel
really
for the game though.
Yeah, he does. I really like Joshua Jefferson quite a bit. I like him in a place where you're going to put the ball in his hands a little bit more and let him do some stuff. And that's just not going to be what
that's that. I've got, for the same reason, I've seen Ibuka Okori mocked to the Lakers a few places. It's the same thing. I'm like, when's he gonna, like, if you're gonna do that, you need to have an eye towards moving Austin Reeves at some point in the future, because I just don't see that making sense to have those two together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's because I saw or was on a pod. Somebody said, "What about like Christian Anderson if he slipped?" I mean, it's the value would be really good, but the fit is just weird. Like a true on ball point guards just don't make a ton of sense. The chat's blowing up about Koa Pete. Sure, in theory, but he's not the true big that they need. And he doesn't. I don't know that he's going to ever really shoot it all that well. So, I mean, I like Koa Pete. I think he could certainly help, but I think there's definitely a world where, a couple guys, if guys slip, Alan Graves could be a nice player, but again, that's another guy who I think probably needs the ball a little bit more. So I'm looking for more 3-and-D kind of guys with that. If Dalen Swain shot it better, he could be somebody.
I like him a lot.
Yeah. Terrace Reed, I know it was reported he had a workout with the Lakers, I believe, over the weekend. So
Bryce was very high on Terrace Reed.
Yeah, I like Terrace Reed quite a bit too. Terrace Reed's just one of those guys when you watch him play, it's like this dude's gonna be a 10-year NBA player and just be in rotations the entire time with how good he is. So yeah.
Good question here coming in. Will the front office show be live? Yes, we will be live on the front office show tomorrow or tonight, whatever during the draft.
19 hours from now.
Yes, we will be live during the draft. It's 8:00 Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. We will go live and we'll break down all the picks as they occur. Keith, I haven't told you this, but my plan is when we get to the 25th pick, I'll bounce and I'll post something on Lakers Nation and let you wrap up the final 4 picks of the draft.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and I think we've done that in the past one. Nor it's kind of nice. The Lakers are picking later this year.
Right. So that makes it easier for I'll just go and not come back in.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Sorry, I was just getting it. It's like all the articles are coming
Yeah, all the
out
articles about the Giannis trade. Okay.
stuff.
From
With that,
here,
but yeah.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into some of the super chats. I know it's way.
Yeah, if there's general ones,
late.
I'll do. Let's do general ones, and then you can do the Laker ones when I go.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Well, here I can just say. Somebody said, "Get some sleep, Trev. It's draft time." I'm going to sleep in the middle of July. Like that's just
getting started.
I will sleep after summer league. That's the way this time of year goes. I'm just going to say this. Look, there's zero chance that Jaylen Brown for Austin Reeves is a thing. The Celtics would be insane to do that.
Yeah,
you're not. That is not happening.
Austin Reeves in the 3 first-round picks, maybe, but then why are the Lakers doing that?
Let's see. My biggest issue for the draft is that the players wear the wrong hats when they get selected via the trade. For example, the Bucks do not have the 13th pick. They will wear a Heat hat and not a Bucks hat. Yeah, Keith, what we've talked about this before. We both share that pet peeve.
Yeah.
Why can't we fix this?
So they kind of have, but the problem is it's not the initial, like they go up, they're on the stage, they get the hat, they meet Adam Silver, shake his hand and take their picture. It's when they get like down into doing the, like, I don't know what we call that, but the stage side interview or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is the league is now started to recognize more of like players headed, elsewhere in a proposed trade. And we have seen in some of those cases, they get them the right hat. So, but it's that initial moment. It's just the league doesn't mess around until trades are official. Like that's like the answer. And we don't love it and nobody likes it, but that really is the way it is.
How do these trades affect Denver's ability to open up space for Watson? Is he more in play now? And that's referring to the fact that now there's a little bit less cap space available with the Nets and with the Chicago Bulls. Does that, now that the supply of cap space in terms of teams that have the ability to just absorb contracts, does that make Denver's job of opening up cap space that much more difficult?
Yeah, potentially. Now, it's important to note the Nets and the Bulls both have enough to still take in Cam Johnson or Christian Brown. That's there. There are some of those giant trade exceptions floating around. The 3 biggest trade exceptions now will be the Julius Randle one. Then the Celtics have a big one, as well as the Grizzlies from the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade. So they could take in those guys too if they really wanted to go that route. So they can still find homes, but it's tighter than it was for sure. And that could maybe put Peyton Watson in play if a team wanted to throw an offer sheet his way. But we'll see how that goes. Denver, by all accounts, still is trying to do everything they can to keep them, but it's definitely tighter than it was.
Keith, the guy that was cutting grass just messaged me. He said he found me on Instagram and messaged me and said, "I am not actually cutting grass." Just so
nice. Okay. I was nervous. I was like,
I know. I'm like, man, I hope you got
headlights
on that thing or something.
Yeah.
Out there cutting grass.
Don't spam the chat. Nobody likes when you spam the chat.
Yeah, I'll just
not that guy. He's
not that guy.
He's just trying to make a living.
Houston is open to trading Kevin Durant and Sengun. Could that open up Jaylen Brown to Houston?
Yeah, possibly. They were one of the teams that was linked to Jaylen Brown. Even last year, there were talks of like if Boston like really was gonna fully reset the roster, like and trade Jaylen Brown, that could be the way it goes. I mean, it's still obviously gonna be a lot of dealing with the fallout of all this. I'm not gonna be surprised if Jaylen Brown is just back with the Celtics. Next season.
And it can be just, hey, chin up,
Yeah, like dude, it was Giannis. Like your salary's almost exactly matched. Like it's not if anything, it's a reflection on you that the Bucks weren't like, nope. Like that's where it is. So yeah, I think that's a I think that's fair.
I've got a few comments asking about LeBron now signing with the Miami Heat.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
How would they even execute that?
Yeah, LeBron takes a minimum.
It would have to be a minimum, right?
Yeah, that's not going to be a thing. I don't still, I don't think LeBron and Pat Riley are still on the best of terms. Okay, I think that's still a little sensitive there. We're probably not getting to a good place there. And like is that starts to feel like fantasy team, just collecting talent and not really thinking too much about fit.
Yeah. Do you see Philly making any moves?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to do something. Here's the thing with Philly. If Philly is going to continue to operate under this self-imposed hard cap of the luxury tax, which again, self-imposed, they every year they don't really want to pay the tax. It's gonna be hard for them to even keep Quentin Grimes and Kelly Oubre Jr. because you got to remember Giannis's salary jumps. His extension kicks in, so his salary is going up. You have Paul George, you have Tyrese Maxey, so you've got 3 guys on max deals, and then you're gonna have to work to fill in the roster around him. I think maybe Grimes or Oubre stays. I don't know if both will be back in Philly, but definitely, they're wouldn't be surprised. I don't think I saw some people floating ideas of like, what if they traded Joel Embiid? I mean, maybe. I don't think they're going.
I don't know who takes him.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
it's a tough.
You have to really be. There was part of me was like, I wonder if Miami could be desperate enough if they had not gotten Giannis to be like, all right, we don't have to pay as big of a price. We'll take Embiid and we'll try to figure it out. But Embiid and Bam wouldn't really fit any better than Bam and Giannis, which, by the way, I don't necessarily love that fit together. I'm sure defensively I really like it, but
defensively it's great, but sure.
Yeah, they need shooting now.
Also, I mean, think about Miami's. I mean, Giannis is incredible, but think about Miami's system is fairly unique in the way they run things on the offensive end.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, with the no screens and just move that. My guess is that's probably going to change. There's probably going to be some change up there with that, but I mean, it's just a little weird.
I'm confident they will be able to adjust.
I'm not worried about Spo finding out a way.
Not at all. Let's check Keith. Do you think we already talked about it, so we don't need to readdress it? But do you think the Celtics alienated?
I mean, maybe
Brown? There may be some stuff to smooth over there.
Yeah, he's a sensitive guy, so maybe. I mean, we'll see. His comment today, he's not in the United States right now. I don't know where he is in the world. He was traveling around, and he made his comment today on his Twitch stream was something along the lines of, everybody who is hating on me and everybody who wants me out, you're just turning me into more of a monster. So, I mean, I don't always mind when Jaylen Brown feels offended because you generally get a pretty focused and dialed in Jaylen Brown. So,
all right, what does Portland do now?
I
don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
they still have the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks may not be done. They still have those Bucks picks. Maybe they say we would only give them up for Giannis though, and Giannis isn't available now. Maybe they get into a Jaylen Brown conversation. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, they could. I mean, that was one of the things that was out there was, maybe they'd be interested in Jaylen Brown, even not as part of a Giannis trade. So I think, again, though, the challenge comes if you're Boston, what are you getting back in that's going to leave you at least at the same level of where you were? Right, like with Jaylen Brown. That's I think that's the challenge is like that's where it gets a little tricky to just move Jaylen Brown, because like we just saw in a Giannis trade, rarely do we get kind of value for value trades from two teams that are trying to win. Like it's more often what Giannis went for, which is just a big package of stuff. And I'm not trying to demean anything, but I don't want to get back into the whole package again. But it's just a lot of stuff that's going to the Bucks. Like that's more often what you see in a big trade like that.
All right, the Giannis trade got more first round picks than the Luka and AD trades combined.
It's not wrong.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just a matter. I mean, the Luka trade is just that's gonna go down as an all time. I mean, we're already not going to. It already has. Like that's already an all time mess of a trade. So, but, yeah.
All right. I think the rest of our comments are Lakers questions that I can get into, and you can go get some sleep if you'd like, my friend.
That is the plan. If people want to read about the Lakers offseason, my Lakers offseason previews up on Spot Track. All 30 are up as of today. So if people want to check that out, go check that out. Yes, it is. It is not like 1 a.m. for me. It is 1:15 in the morning. So I am ready to call it a night. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. It's we're just in a. I mean, it's this time of year. It's great. I love that it wasn't. I love that the Giannis trade isn't happening now or at
Right.
3 in the morning.
like the Kevin Durant trade.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. But yeah, I think tomorrow's going to be a crazy day. Yeah. Like more in the draft. Like
I am planning tentatively. Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm planning tentatively to have our front office show be the live stream tomorrow night because I have a feeling we're both going to be pretty busy during the day tomorrow.
That's the plan unless something major happens during the daytime. But things kind of settle midday on draft.
Teams hunker down.
Yeah, exactly. Because then the NBA doesn't want a whole lot of stuff happening leading up to the draft. So we'll be back at it. But yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Thanks for having me on simulcast with both shows. It's always fun.
And I'm going to stick around for another 10-15 minutes or so. I'll run through some of these super chats. But thanks, Keith, for jumping on. And when we got to talk, it finally happened. Giannis was traded.
Finally. Yeah, I know. What was it, 418 days later or whatever?
That's all it took.
Our boy Yossi all it took. Yeah. Chewbacca. I can't be making Chewbacca noises at 1:15 in the morning. That'll get the dogs going. Sorry.
It's too late for that.
Remind me tomorrow. I owe you one tomorrow.
There you go.
See ya.
All right, man. See ya. Okay, everybody. Let's get into some of these questions, comments, all of that. I do need to give a shout out to our sponsor first, and that is Prize Picks. You guys can check them out. Use the link in the description down below. The code, it's HMA. Play $5, get $50 instantly over on Prize Picks. I made a couple of quick selections here. The World Cup's going on. I've got Harry Kane more than 2 shots on target against Ghana, and then Cristiano Ronaldo. I've got him scoring a goal against Uzbekistan. So if you guys want to get in on that, again, use the link in the description down below. The code, it's HMA. Play $5, get $50 instantly with Prize Picks. All right. Wakey, Palenka, nap time is over. Yeah, again, I would caution everybody. We talked about this, I think, a little bit yesterday, that I know every time we see that something happens and it doesn't involve, whether it's it doesn't matter who your team is, if it's the Lakers or the Bulls or the Nuggets or whoever it is, the Magic. Anytime fans see another team make a move and their team is not involved, people get frustrated, right? You get that FOMO and all of that that comes in there. There's still plenty of time for stuff to get done. If we get to July, we're past 4th of July and still nothing's happened, okay, then maybe we start getting a little bit concerned, but still plenty of time. I tend to think from a Lakers perspective, the fact that they didn't just absorb Nick Claxton into their cap space tells me either the Lakers have other stuff planned or they're not going to be a cap space team at all, and they're going to go over the cap, which means they're going to have to be very active on the trade market, because that would mean bringing back Luke Kennard and Rui Hachimura and all of their free agents in order to really make significant changes on their roster. So maybe a little bit of a clue here, because the Bulls didn't really give up anything in order to get Nick Claxton. The Lakers could use a center. It could also be that they just don't like Nick Claxton that much. Perhaps that's something as well. But we'll see what they do. I am assuming moves are still coming here for the Lakers. This super chat said, I'm just bored of the current Lakers iteration. If nothing, make some changes just to keep things interesting. Just change it just to change it. I mean, if the team was great, then you don't make changes just to make changes, because if it's not broke, you don't fix it, right? But I think they've been pointing to this summer for way too long. The summer of 2026, when they were going to have all this optionality. I just can't see them getting this far and then not doing much of anything. It's possible it could happen, but I can't see it. LeBron to Miami, we already talked about that. That's very, very unlikely that could happen. Am I crazy, or does this open the door for the Lakers to trade for Jaylen Brown? I can see him being disrespected by the fact Boston tried to trade him. Look, if there was a way to get Jaylen Brown to the Lakers, they should absolutely explore it. He would be a great fit with Luka. If it involves an Austin Reeves sign and trade, phenomenal. You do it, right? It's Jaylen Brown. You don't screw around. It's Jaylen Brown. Go get him. That said, I think the Celtics would want very specific pieces back that perhaps the Lakers don't have. I think the Celtics, if they do trade Jaylen Brown, maybe they're talking to New Orleans and they're looking at trying to get other wings back. Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, guys like that. By the way, sounds like the asking price on those guys still very, very high. So we'll see. That's what I look at with this situation with Jaylen Brown. I see the Celtics wanting other things than what the Lakers would provide. That said, Rob Pelinka, make the phone call for sure. See if you can have that conversation. I also think if it was close, the Celtics would probably prefer not to trade with the Lakers. They have traded with each other before, though, so it's not like it's prohibited or anything. Is Ryan Rollins available? I missed this one when I was going through with Keith, but I do think that Ryan Rollins is the guy they want to keep. They're building around young players. He was a fine for them. Tyler said, I'm going to call it now, and it doesn't make sense, but Luka pretty much said he's gone. Really? I didn't get that. But you said it doesn't make sense. Rob Pelinka should trade Luka for Jaylen. I'm a Luka stan. Luka has made it clear that through Dave McMenamin's piece that, hey, Lakers, you said summer of 2026. It's the summer of 2026. He's also made it clear this summer that what he thinks fits with him is shooting and lob threat bigs. So we'll see if the Lakers can add that. They already did it once, kind of, right? The Mark Williams trade, and then they rescinded that. And so that obviously fell to pieces. But they've got, I talked about it last night live, that the clock is ticking on the Lakers with Luka. They've got to sort some things out. I think they will do everything they can to build a roster around Luka right now. And if they are not successful in that, then maybe we're having some uncomfortable conversations next summer regarding Luka and the Lakers. Jovic makes sense for the Lakers better than Rui. I mean, you'd be trading for him. Now, it's not like he's a free agent or anything, so you'd have to trade for him. It depends on how you would get him. You could just absorb him via cap space if the Heat needed to clear salary. Like if that was the difference between bringing back Norman Powell, they'd still want something in return. I like Jovic just fine. You can make the argument either way, though. Rui is so great as a shooter. That's hard to just lose. So basically, there's no money in free agency for Austin or LeBron. Correct. Not entirely correct, but the reason why for LeBron, it's a little bit more so because I don't think it matters how much cap space the Nets or the Bulls have. LeBron's not signing there anyway. But for Austin, you could see him maybe signing with the Nets or something, just if the Lakers were giving him, saying, sorry, Austin, all we're giving you is $20 million. And the Nets said, well, we'll give you $40 million. Okay. Right. Then he's going to do something like that. $36 million is the max from the Nets right now. Yeah. And they can do some things to change that. Luka not getting the super max extension is a blessing in disguise for the Laker faithful. So when we're looking at Austin's salary, if they operate as a below the cap team, I would like to see the Lakers, whatever the number is going to come in at. Look, Ayo Dosunmu came in at 112. Trae Young, though, got essentially the max, right? He got, I think it was 212 that he got, somewhere around there. He got the max that another team could pay. I kind of wonder if Austin is now going to be hoping for the same, and this is just me guessing, and that would be 4 years, 170. Austin's max is not the same as Trae Young's max. They're different tiers. So Austin's max with another team would be 4 years, 178. But if that other team isn't out there, the whole Trae Young thing was the Nets and or the Bulls would have been interested in Trae Young at the full max that they can give him. Well, if they don't have maxes to give Austin, like the reason why the Wizards had to give Trae Young the deal that they did, which was that 4 years over $200 million player option on the last year of the deal, was because other teams were willing to give it to him. If the Nets aren't capable of giving him that offer, and the Bulls are not capable of giving him that offer, and that's not out there, then the only way for him to get that money is either the Lakers decide to give it to him, and in an environment where no one else can, I don't think that's wise. Or another team does decide to give it to him, but that team would need the Lakers' help on a sign and trade, in which case they're getting stuff back. So I don't know that this improves the Lakers' position all that much because Austin wants to go back to the Lakers. The Lakers want him back. That to the degree that I think most teams around the NBA don't see Austin Reeves as legitimately available because they know who wants to go and who wants to stay and what both sides want to have happen here. But this doesn't hurt. I don't think this hurts the Lakers negotiating, and they need to negotiate the hell out of this thing. Just frankly, they need to make this deal as team friendly as possible. I would like to see them make this a declining salary if the Lakers operate as an above the cap team, or I'm sorry, below the cap team, because that cap hole at 21 million is the same no matter what. So if they operate as a below the cap team, make the first year of the deal the highest and make it go down rather than go up. So that way, as the deal gets older, the separation between the rising cap and the value of, and the deal just gets wider and wider. And so by the end of that, you could have Austin's deal taken up like 18% of the cap, something like that, instead of 25%, maybe even less. So that's a feature that I would like to see if they do operate as a below the cap team. But yeah, if you're the Lakers, you may like Austin Reeves and he's a nice guy and all of that, and you got a good relationship with him. You got to negotiate the hell out of this thing. You can't have negative value contracts in today's NBA. You just can't do it. It is, we see it. Like, there's a reason. Why is Jared Vanderbilt still on the Lakers roster right now? Because it's really hard to get teams to take negative value contracts. You've got to do everything you can as a team to try to protect yourself against a negative value contract. And the more you can bring the deal down, the more team friendly you can make it, the better chance you have that it's going to be positive value. There's always the chance a player gets hurt or something like that happen or whatever. There's always a chance that a contract can go negative. But the lower you make the contract, the better the chances you have that it retains positive value. There is some diminishing returns if it gets too low to actually trade it, but you never know what the future is going to hold. So I think given the state of the market right now, the Lakers need to do what they can to make that deal as team friendly as they possibly can. Will there be a player option? I see the chat asking. Probably, right? Jaylen Brown for Gafford, Christie, PJ Washington, and number 9. Oh, I should have thrown that one at Keith. That's interesting. Because of the number 9 pick in this draft, if the Celtics had somebody there they really like. Christie, but do I value Christie too much because former Laker and all that? I don't know the Celtics bite on this, but that's some good value with the number 9 pick, I think, in there. Depends on what the Celtics really need, though, too. Opening night, Heat at Knicks, OKC at Spurs. That makes some sense. More importantly, this means Gabe Vincent back to Miami. They do need guys on veteran minimums. That could happen. Trade Luka while you can. He will not age well. I think the earliest we'd be talking Luka trades, I mean, and it's not far, would be next summer. Next summer. Imagine Derek White on the Lakers. If they can get him, I don't know what the Celtics' appetite for trading him is. He did not shoot the ball well last year. But would be a great fit overall, especially if the shooting you expected to bounce back. Austin Reeves, the friendly contract, 4 years, 30, 32, 34, 36. Yeah. And I would flip it. I would invert it. I would go 36, 34, 32, 30. And off you go. But we'll see again. And remember, the Lakers, there's a reason why we heard about Ayo Dosunmu's deal today. There's a reason why we heard about CJ McCollum, about Colin Gillespie, about Jordan Goodwin. It's because those guys are all allowed. You can negotiate with your own free agents right now. So we could hear about an Austin deal tomorrow. Maybe we could hear about it right now, right? We could hear about a Rui Hachimura deal. Rui's deal could even get done. He's extension eligible. We could hear about Rui. We could hear about Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton. If those guys are planning on opting out, we could hear that they were agreeing to a deal with the Lakers. We could hear about Luke Kennard, hear about any of these guys that I'm talking about. Those could, that information, we could get breaking news. Lakers agreed to a deal with Marcus Smart. That could happen tomorrow. 25th pick for where? What do you guys think, chat? If you could give up, I really like the guys that could be available at 25. Personally, I would do it though. And I'm worried about Kel'el Ware's motor. I'm worried that he's got a little of the DeAndre Ayton motor problem there. Where are you at? Would you do that deal if it was the Bucks decide they would rather have the 25th pick than Kel'el Ware? Would you take that? I think I would do it just because it's so difficult to find a player that can shoot the three, protect the rim, and be a lob threat. And he can do all three. Chat's all saying yes. I agree. Simply because of the skill set. I've got concerns, but I think I would do it. The downside is that I don't think the Bucks do it. Yeah, I don't think the Bucks would either. I think the Bucks would probably want a little more. I'm just saying if that was available to the Lakers, would you do it? The downside is you could have a player locked up for longer on a rookie contract because Kel'el Ware's already burned a few years off of his rookie deal. If you were to go, let's say you get Jaden Quaintance and you're really big on him and you think, you know what, it may take a little bit, but he is going to be absolutely epic. Okay, you could have him on a rookie deal for 4 more years, 5 years, and you can have him under contract. That could certainly be a helpful thing. But I would take what Kel'el Ware can do right now. Especially, I always think too, just like we talk about, well, Rui is a great shooter. And he may be a better shooter than another wing you could replace him with. But how well does that other wing shoot compared to their current average if they're getting the looks that Rui gets, like the looks that Luka and Austin and LeBron create for Rui? I think that's fair to consider, right? Similarly, how much does a big improve just by sharing the floor with Luka, right? So Kel'el Ware may be a pretty good player as is. Does he take a big leap because now he's with Luka and Luka's going to be looking for him all the time for lobs and all that kind of stuff? Maybe that's something to consider as well when looking at bigs. Blazers need a head coach first. It's day of the draft. Yeah, they do. It's more important that you have your scouting. I mean, it's not ideal to go to the draft without your head coach, but you can do it. With moves today, do you feel more or less confident about LA? I would have liked it had Chicago's cap space not been taken up by a center, but I would say more because I think they're in a better bargaining position right now. And right now, the Lakers stand alone as the only team in the NBA that has enough pure cap space to offer a full max salary to somebody. Not that that player is there to give a full max to right now, but potentially they've got the most flexibility. We'll see what they do with it. You still have to use that wisely. But I don't think the Lakers situation got worse today. I think it did improve. Did it improve a ton? No, but I think it improved. And honestly, after the Trae Young deal, I thought it got worse. After the Trae Young deal, I thought it got worse. But that was with the threat of other clubs willing to offer him that money. And if those threats are no longer there for the Lakers in regards to Austin Reeves, great. That puts them in a better bargaining position. Now, Miami got Giannis. Miami would want shooters. If Rui for Wiggins trade, should the front office do it? Is Wiggins on that 30 million? And then you're signing and trading Rui for Wiggins? And what number are you signing him at? So you'd have to absorb salary via that trade? Because I would assume Rui's not going to get 30 million. Or is Wiggins opting out and then it's a sign and trade there? My guess is Wiggins would opt in. I think I would do it because I do think Andrew Wiggins, he's not nearly the shooter Rui is, but he's better for the Lakers fit-wise elsewhere in every other way. So I would probably do it. I would take Andrew Wiggins. That's also a pretty nice, assuming he picks up that player option, a $30 million expiring contract. Maybe that's useful at the trade deadline to do something else if you need to. I think, though, if you can work it out financially, if I could turn Rui Hachimura into Andrew Wiggins, I'd do it, but it's very close because Rui was great in the playoffs. He is a better shooter. There's no question there. Rui is legitimately one of the best wing shooters in the NBA. It's just everything else that's not shooting the three or the pull-up 15-footer, Andrew Wiggins is better at. But I do think you can make an argument that the Heat would be better with Rui and the floor spacing he provides, and the Lakers would be better with Wiggins. Somebody said send Reeves to Brooklyn for Randall. Oh, I'm sure the Nets would do that. The Lakers would not, though. That'd be crazy. All right, what's going to happen to Giannis's brothers? I don't know. How many roster spots do the Heat have? Yep, I dig all those. Kevin Porter Jr., Matisse Thybulle, Josh Minot, all players the Lakers should target for bench improvements. Yep. I'd be down with all those players. Okay, everybody. We got a busy day coming up tomorrow. I appreciate all of you joining here tonight. Lot going on around the NBA right now. Lot going on. We got the draft, then free agency coming up. And remember, we've got a 2-day draft. So it's tomorrow or tonight, depending on where you're at. We've got round 1. Then the next day, we've got round 2 of the draft. And remember, after round 2, right after round 2 concludes, guess what happens? All the undrafted guys start signing, right? And that's actually where Austin Reeves wound up signing with the Lakers. But a lot of times we just think, oh, these guys don't matter. No, if you find a guy there undrafted, it's extremely valuable. So we'll be keeping an eye out, too, to see which undrafted free agents could the Lakers potentially land after the second round of the draft concludes. Those are guys that'll be added to the Summer League team and all of that. So a lot going on in just the next 2 days. Plus the trade market, I think now that Giannis has been traded, the trade market's going to pick up. And who knows what the Lakers could get involved. Maybe they won't even be making their pick at 25 tomorrow. Maybe it'll be used in a trade. We'll see. All right, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Truly, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Till next time. See ya and stay safe.